Okay. Good morning, guys. It's Christian again, back with another episode of Losing My Mind, the podcast dedicated to all things brain cancer related. Um, it's 2:53 a.m. and once again, I just can't seem to stay asleep, despite being on some of the strongest seizure meds available. Um, when all this first started happening, I've said this in previous episodes that I started suffering really bad seizures, violent ones, and I was left with a permanent seizure disorder that made me I'll never work again, I'll never drive again, blah blah blah. But anyway, so after a month of feeling sorry for myself, I decided to join in some support groups, and I've received tons of help from that. But I also think I've received tons of scams and just BS remedies to help me with my situation. And I'm not sure if these people are being cruel or just being or just think they're having fun. But I don't understand if people have a remedy or if they've heard of something that works, or they've had a loved one who have exactly what I have, which is unmethylated stage 4 glioblastoma. Why is always the advice given to me in the private messenger in private messages? If you have something out there that worked for you or a family member, why can't you drop it in the public comments below my actual podcast on Facebook so other people can see them and debate you on Facebook or refute you or whatever? Because I have no idea actually who's all the people who's actually watching this. I see on Facebook I've got close to 32,000 views on my content, which is still amazing to me at this point, but it's a little overwhelming, especially with the information I'm starting to be given. Because if what is it they say? If you see it on the internet, it must be true. Well, that is absolutely not true. But anyway, if from now on, if you're going to give me any advice or any medicinal remedies to discuss with my daughter, please have something backing it up, or at least have the courage to drop it in the public comments below, so everyone else can read what the advice you're offering, including some doctors or nurses who may be watching this program, which I know a few that are, and let them let them either debate you or inform me on what I'm being told is either true or there's some truth to it or not. Because the private messages thing is starting to get old. Let's do all this out in the open, please. But I have to say that this person that you're seeing, Bubby, this Julie Leach, they take the cake. I mean, whoever this person is, they don't stop. They just keep coming with the same BS every time. And this is like the fourth time, and this Julie Leach person, and hopefully you haven't been approached by this person, but if you have, do what I do, just ignore them, block them, and report them so they get kicked off. But anyway, the first time she approached me telling me that she was a Michigan Powerball winner and that she had set up a fund to help people like me. And every month they draw a winner, and I had been randomly selected the first time for $125,000. And I didn't believe it then, just as I don't believe it now. And I said, no, thanks. Sounds too good to be true, so it probably is. Just pass it on to the next person. And he or she said, okay, I'm sorry you're missing out, but I'll do that. And then a couple of weeks later, they hit me up again and told me I had won $100,000 from a random pick monthly lottery for people like me. And I called their bluff and I said, okay, well, if you're really interested in doing that, here's my GoFundMe link that I have a cousin set up for me, just in case this goes off the rails and I don't make it out of this, to help my wife and my family, because anyway, not being able to work again, not be able to provide again, it's a sore spot in my soul and something that's really bothering me lately. Um, this whole podcast is starting to really take a turn for me. and my approach to dealing with this is really starting to take a drastic turn. But in a way, I kind of owe this Julie Leach scamster over here. These are some of the messages I've received, so you can read them yourself. Um, I need this in a way because right now my stages of grief are re-entering the rage and anger zone, and I'm starting to realize that I need that right now to keep fighting this disease, because it's really starting to affect me, and my kids are seeing it. My wife is definitely seeing it. Our lives have gotten a lot harder, and it's all the unknowns out there that's really keeping me up. I mean, despite all this when I first got diagnosed with this, and they put me on the sedatives to keep me from seizing anymore, I literally slept all morning, all day, and all night. Was just literally wasting whatever time I got left, wasting it away. And that got old real quick. And now it doesn't even seem to be helping as much anymore. I just wake up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, all right, let's just do a podcast. And now I just want to talk. I don't want to. I've invited people to come onto the show. I haven't had many takers. I've had a few that said they would do it, and when I send them out an email to give them a Zoom link, I never got any response, which it doesn't bother me. I understand. Like I said yesterday, not everybody could be as open about this sort of trauma as I'm trying to be. But it's something I need to do for myself, and I understand if that's not for everyone else. But it would be great to have some guests on, either family members or caregivers or actual patients themselves who have dealt with stage 4 glioblastoma unmethylated, and let me know what they did, how they're still alive, and what lifestyle changes they made, and what doctors they worked with, what therapies they tried, just so I could get some more info myself. Because that's one thing that's really frustrating to me is I have so many questions and so little answers. Even when you look at like the number of resources out there for like cancer, if you got breast cancer or other type of cancers, there are literally almost unlimited resources. But look for resources for glioblastoma, brain cancer. You might find a handful, but I just feel like I'm gonna start doing my talking here. I mean, I talk in my doctor's office, of course, but it's like the more I talk, the more pills I get. You might see right here. This is a box of my pills that I take every day to keep me alive and to keep me from seizing. And yet, still, y'all saw last week that I had another seizure that left my arm, my left arm, basically unusable for about a week, and even my hand, I couldn't use it for anything. I've been put on some, and today I had my steroid medication adjusted for the 4th time, and it seems to work better in the morning. When I wake up in the morning after being on these steroids all night, I seem to have better use and better control of my hand, and I can pick up things like I couldn't pick up the day earlier. And then as the day goes on, that effect starts to wear off, and I'm like, why? If this is from inflammation in the brain from the surgery and the radiation, and these steroids are supposed to reduce that, why is the effect of that last seizure not, reducing overall over an extended period of time throughout the day? And even though it was a small seizure and it wasn't violent, it was my worst seizure since I had this seizure that left me with this permanent left side droop. It makes me talk out right side droop. It makes me talk out the left side of my mouth, which makes me sound funny. So my question is like, if these steroids aren't helping, did this last seizure actually give me another permanent deficit? And that's very worrisome, very, very stressful. It's like it's starting to get me in a frame of mind where I'm wondering, excuse me, if I'm wondering when will the next seizure be and what will that do to me? So anyway, I'm losing my train of thought here, but these are the messages from this Julie Leach person. If you see this person, They are so full of it. I gave them my GoFundMe link. Of course, there was no money deposited into that link, and they said if I want my money, I got to contact this person and click on this link right here below. And that's not going to happen. This is their agent to bring me my winning package. I don't need an agent to bring me a winning package. You got a GoFundMe link. If you want to give me the money, stick it in my GoFundMe. It'll get to where it needs to go. But I'm not going to post that link here because I'm not asking you for money. But my cousin ran a GoFundMe campaign already, and sometimes her posts will show up on my losing my mind feed, and that's just something that she's doing. So, and I appreciate it because she's still fighting for me and my family every day, and I love her for it. But I'm not going to willingly post that right here so that you guys can. It seems like I'm trying to just take advantage of people who might be sympathetic. But anyway, like I said, that this podcast is starting to turn a little bit darker for me because the more I see it's affecting my kids, and the more I see it's affecting my wife, especially in this last week since I've lost most of the use of my left arm, at least the most important part of the use of it. Having to incorporate my kids and my wife into more of my daily, what I do to get out to go through the day, my showers, my meals, helping me clean up, helping me pick up after myself, picking up my messes. It's just really starting to piss me off at this point because I have no answers for it. My youngest son keeps asking Dad, why is this happening? And I don't know, son, is all I can tell him. I have no idea. And the more I research on it, the less I know. So, and that's pissing me off. But for some reason, I'm needing this anger that's bubbling back up in me. I need it to keep this fight going. I don't know how others of you, how y'all have dealt with it. Some of you seem to deal with it through tons of prayer and whatnot, and whatever works for you. I mean, I'm down for that, and I'll accept all the prayers and well wishes I can get. But for me, it's beyond that point. I need. Hell, I don't even know what I'm really saying other than I need to stay mad at this situation because it's really keeping me going at the moment. I don't even know where this podcast is going to go or where it's going to end up or how much longer I'll be able to do it. I mean, if I have another seizure, it does something to me where I can no longer do this podcast. I just will let all of you know who've seen any of my episodes or who all the hundreds of followers I've gotten in such a short period of time. I do appreciate it. It really helped motivate me at first to do this. I would like to have had some guests on to share their story, and that just doesn't seem to be happening. And a lot's going to be changing for me in the next month or so in the treatment-seeking phase after I get my next MRI this coming Thursday. Then we're going to have a nice long talk with my doctors to see where we're going to go next. Like I said yesterday, I'm starting to lose my desire to go straight through another resection without looking at all the other available therapies out there first, just because of the risks that are involved of having another resection. I don't want to wake up paralyzed. I don't want to be a total bedridden behemoth for my children and my wife to deal with. Because if you ever listen to my episodes in the past, my wife works at a cancer clinic. She works at a hospital for over 25 years. I got the number of years wrong the other day when I said 30-something years. My brain is just scrambled after all the drugs I'm on, all the seizures I've had, so my memory's just not there. But I've mentioned in the past that my wife has worked at a hospital. She's been there, done that, and I hate it for her that she deals with cancer all day, and now she comes home and deals with it all night. and both of my children are autistic, and so how they're dealing with this, their understanding of what Daddy's going through, they have basically resigned themselves to the bedroom, and they play their video games, and they talk with their friends, and at least I get to hear them laughing and stuff instead of coming out here and seeing Daddy um, with his arm hanging down by his side because he keeps forgetting to lift it up. And or my youngest son, he'll walk by with a paper towel and wipe drool from my mouth, which breaks my heart because he sees that. He's the one that's asking the most questions. And that can't help but get you angry. You know what I mean? It can't help because you don't know why this is happening or how this is going to end up. But, some few things have changed for me lately that, excuse me, my throat's getting dry. My wife and I bought this little house we live in about 14 years ago. And we've got this little front porch concrete patio on the front. It's about 6 feet by 19 feet. And the first year or so that we bought this house, we would sit out there in the mornings and drink our coffee and just be proud of the fact we just bought a brand new home. And we were just proud of ourselves and doing what you see most people do when they buy a new house with a front porch. They sit out there and enjoy their drinks or just enjoy chatting, whatever. We had stopped doing that for years and years. But since this has all occurred, it seems like that's all I spend a large amount of my time now sitting on that front porch, dwelling, with my thoughts and looking around, wondering, is this the last year I'm ever going to see any of this stuff, or is this my last Christmas with my family, my last Thanksgiving? And the more I think about that, and the more this disease is making me think that way, the angrier I'm getting. I just feel it boiling up inside me like I don't know. It's just, I don't know if any of you have gone through this, like a second transition of the anger phase. Because I had resigned myself to the acceptance phase. And then when I realized how much I had resigned myself to the acceptance phase, that made me even more angrier. And so, because I don't ever want to accept something like this. And no one should ever get to the point where they accept something like this without fighting with every ounce that they got or using any remaining utility they have left in their brain to keep questioning and going forward and try to get some answers or I'm not ready to find peace yet with this. I'm just not. The thought of leaving my family and my kids is just unbearable. It's just this disease tortures you in so many ways. It's not just the fact you've been given a death sentence, or they give you almost like a timestamp. You've got 9 to 14 months left. You got 5 to 9 months left. Blah blah blah. That in of itself is just pure hell to even get through that part. And then once you get through that part and you go through those stages of, stages of grief, they call it. And once you get through that part, then you find yourself resigned on a certain stage. You've kind of attached yourself to a certain stage, and then you go comfort. You actually get some sort of comfort in that stage for a little bit. And that's what I had done. I'd be like, all right, Christian, obviously there's nothing you could do about this. Let's just try to make happy memories with the time you got left, and which is almost impossible to do. How do you do that? I mean, taking selfies with my kids over and over at places we haven't even gone to for years or whatever. I mean, it seems almost fake to me, and to post them on my my losing my mind page just seems disingenuous in a way, because I'm not making happy memories right now. There's nothing happy about any of this. It is a dark, dark, dark time, and I imagine for many of you going through the same thing I am, you can identify with that. And the more of these stupid scam artists that come on here trying to take advantage of people at their lowest. They're unbelievable. I mean, it's just and then the advice I'm getting on my private message is about, if you take a ivermectin patch and stick it right above your tumor and stick a certain type of a nicotine patch on the opposite side of your tumor, that's been known to help. I mean, if that's true, where's the data on that? Show me something to talk to the doctor about, because I'll talk to the doctor about anything. I'm not afraid to question them. I mean, that's their job, is to help us understand why we're going through the hell we're going through. And it seems like the more I talk at the doctors, the more medicine I get. And even right now, I'm very sedated. I'm very tired, but I can't sleep because I can't stay asleep lately. I wake up angry. And a lot of times when that happens, I walk in, I open up my kid's door, I see they're asleep, and I walk over and I sneak in a quick kiss on their forehead, just because I don't know how any of this is going to play out. I constantly kiss my wife in her sleep and smell her hair. I just love the smell of my wife and the warmness of her body in the bed just brings me comfort. And the thought of never having that again is just, it really is torture. The thought of not seeing my kids grow up is just an endless loop of torture. Like I said in previous episodes, I never intended this podcast to turn into a pity party, but now I'm at the point where I just want to talk. And either you like what I'm talking about or you don't. That's up to you. You can watch, or you don't have to. You can knock it off. But at this point, this is what I'm going to keep doing. Whatever I wake up and I'm feeling, and I feel the need to get off my chest, that's what I'm going to do. But if anybody really wants to be on this show one day, I'd appreciate it if you shoot me a private message if you want. And then we could talk in private, and I can get your email address, and I can send you a Zoom link that you could click on. We can decide a time to do it, and I'll be there, and we can talk, and you can share your story, and whether you're a caregiver or you lost a loved one to this same thing, and you didn't get some things off your chest you need to get off. Now's your time that you can do it, and I would love to hear from some of you. I appreciate the comments and the well wishes and the prayers, but it'd be nice to talk to someone who's gone through this or is going through this, because support groups are great, but I would like to. There are in-person support groups, but I'm not ready to go there yet because I enjoy this format a little bit better. So if you're interested, please shoot me a private message. I'll set you up. You'll get your email address. I'll set you up with a Zoom link or something like that, and we'll pick a time and we'll go at it, because I would love to hear from some of you. Once again, I'm having a couple beers, which I know is not anything any of my doctors going to be happy to see or happy to hear about, but it's what I'm doing right now to cope with this influx of emotions I'm getting. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart. That's the one thing about being on these meds. You zone in, you zone out, but you quickly snap back to it. But I'm getting tired of that too. And in about 2 hours and 15 minutes, I got to get my kids up and get them ready for school. And It's something I'm still trying to do every morning. My wife has to do a large portion of it. But I'm still trying to help in any way I can, whether it be doing dishes. Um, making their We still pack their lunches, so making their lunches, I still enjoy doing that. Um, but as far as to live life to the fullest, make happy memories, how the hell do I do that with this? How the hell do you do that with your family that's seeing you erode right in front of them? If any of you have any good answers, I'd like to hear them because I personally don't know how, and I haven't received a response that actually helped me other than just live life to the fullest, be here in the now, the basic rundown of stuff you're given when you're told your life is going to be ending soon. Um, but anyway, let me hear from a lot more of you, please. I'd like to get a lot more messages. Keep the messages of encouragement and prayers coming, but I also like to have some conversations with some of you. Um, I've always been a pretty optimistic person, a very jovial person. I probably laughed too damn much in my life. I could turn anything into a joke, and I'm quickly losing that ability, and I don't like that because I can laugh about anything. There is there is no subject, there is nothing that I can't find funny in some way, except this. There is nothing funny about what me and my family are going through, and what I'm sure you and your families are going through. Um, or the people, the thousands of people I've talked to on these wonderful support groups that I'm part of on Facebook. Um, I'm sure they're not laughing themselves to sleep either. So uh, I'd like to make some of these happy memories while I still can. Um, but when my kids walk out the door now to go to school, I'm wondering, hey, is Dad? They gonna come home to Dad after he's had another seizure and he's lost the ability to do something else, which makes their lives harder, which makes my wife's life harder. My wife has had to install cameras in the house now because of the seizures to keep an eye on me while she's at work all day, and she checks on me all day long. We have a Ring camera out the front door, so if I walk outside for a second, she's immediately questioning what am I doing. Because when this all first started, um, she caught me several times just standing in the front yard at 3 or 4 in the morning. Thank God I still had my clothes on. I wasn't naked or nothing like that, but I'm just standing there motionless doing nothing, and I have no memory of it. And on the Ring footage, you could hear, baby, what are you doing out there? What are you doing? Come back inside. Or while she's at work, she's talking to me through the camera mounted in our living room that follows me everywhere I go and lets her know if motion has started and stopped. And so if I'm laying on the couch for a little longer than she likes to see, because I might be sleeping because of all these beds I'm on, she'll start calling my phone or she'll start talking to me through the speaker on the camera, trying to get me to get up to see if I'm okay. And I hate for her that she has to go through that. It just kills me. Um, anyway, I know I'm just rambling, and I have a feeling that a lot of these, especially if I keep waking up in the middle of the night and I'm feeling the need to talk, a lot of my podcasts going forward are going to sound like this. So, like I said, you can listen if you want to. You don't have to. If you don't have to, there's nothing obligating you to be here. But I'm just a man with a terrible disease, very, very few answers, and a ton of anger building. Because there's just too many unknowns. I don't know where any of this is going. And I don't know how hard this entire journey is going to be on my family before it ends. I mean, um, I know this might sound strange, and I don't want to be told in the comments about this, but ever since I found out that what I have been too, I guess, call it afraid. I have never Googled how do you ultimately die on glioblastoma. I haven't asked my doctors that. I don't want to know. I really don't want to know. Like, how does it ultimately take you out? Does it just keep eroding your brain to where everything on your body stops working, you lose all function and everything, which is where I'm starting to think it might end up. I don't know, but I really don't want to know. Because that won't help me with anything. It won't help with my anger. It won't help my anxiety. It won't help with my sleep. Um, what I do want to hear about and know about is every available remedy out there. There, are people who've tried different chemos that actually did help unmethylated tissue and glioblastoma. I would love to hear about that. I mean, I'm getting a lot of immunotherapy trial information, but some of the trials are these drugs that don't even have names yet, and they have very little data to go by. They can't tell you whether they're getting good results or bad results. They'll say things like it's been people have been very responsive to the drug we're using. Well, what does that mean? What is responsive to the drug we're using? No data. All you're saying is that there's people being responsive to it. Well, there's all kinds of responses to medicine. Some good, some bad, but I need something a little heavier than they're responding well to it, because I'm finding myself not wanting to even listen to that. I'd rather just go for the therapies that have something behind them. I'm sure a lot of you have been listening to this and are going through the same thing. You've gone through that too, and let me know the therapies that you were exposed to or introduced to or you got interested in or that you know for a fact worked, and just leave them in the comments below, because I need to hear them. I need I need a little more hope and a lot less anger, because that's where I seem to be heading lately, is back into the anger mode. And nobody wants to be angry, man, all the time. This is not healthy. It's corroding. It eats away at your soul. But I can't seem to shake it lately. Just within the last week, just after this last seizure that I had that left my arm useless for most of the day, which in the morning it'll feel better. And then the steroids will seem to start wearing off, and then the uselessness of my arm will come back. And then here comes another anyway. Like I said, I gotta get my kids up in about an hour and a half now. They get up at 5:30 every morning for school. And I need to sign off and at least try to lay down and relax a little bit before I get up to deal with that. So I'm going to sign off now. And for all of you that watch this later, I appreciate it. And thank you for watching and tuning in. And for those of you giving real advice and real hopes and real prayers, I appreciate it. For all you scam artists out there and all you people pushing these, trying to push these therapies on me, put a patch here, put a patch over here. Man, get the hell out of here with that shit. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't have the stomach for it. And I really should start calling you people out, just like I'm calling out this Julie Leach person. Everybody beware of this Julie Leach person, whoever he or she is, because they are not on the up and up. If they were, my GoFundMe would have 100,000, or by at this point, $325,000 in it, which is not there, because that's how much I've been told I've won from this Julie Leach. What a joke. People are sick and disgusting. This, just get the hell out of here, please. And know that you have been You have been reported again, which I'm sure you'll just assume another identity or open another account and do it again. But I'm reporting you every time. And the funny thing is, this Julie Leach keeps leaving me friend requests. I'm like, are you serious? You're going to friend request me already after I've blocked you, reported you, and exposed you on several episodes, and you're still sending me friend requests? I mean, what are you on? What are you high on? I mean, it's how do people do that? Who knows, man? Who knows? But anyway, I'm going to say goodnight to all of you. I hope I'm not bumming you too much out with my talk. But like I said, I'm at the point now. I just see if I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't go back to sleep, I'm just going to get on here and I'm going to talk, because that's more therapeutic to me than to try to do what I was doing. But if any of you are still up, I hope you're having a wonderful night. I hope you have a wonderful tomorrow. And I'll see you on the next episode. Later.